This is very
By a
dangerous.
landslide.
By a landslide. This is a dangerous one for Jake.
He needs to do it, though.
This is a dangerous fight for Jake. The kid has got balls the size of Manhattan.
Davis! 135 pounds.
Or that I'm sparring and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Logan Paul has openly voiced concern about his brother Jake stepping into the ring with a newly transformed Gervonta Tank Davis, calling the fight dangerous and potentially Jake's toughest challenge yet. Logan points out that Davis has filled out dramatically and evolved as a fighter, becoming far tougher than many fans expect. Drawing from his own experience facing Floyd Mayweather Jr., Logan notes that Davis now displays a blend of speed, precision, and ring intelligence reminiscent of Mayweather in his prime. He warns that what might appear to be a favorable matchup for Jake could flip the moment they touch gloves. That, he says, is why he's genuinely worried for his brother's safety and career trajectory.
Davis has been confirmed. Guys, this fight is actually happening. Jake is a plus 155 underdog going into the fight and taking the biggest risk he's ever taken. It's going to be on Netflix. Now, this fight I will watch.
This one's crazy.
Please give me the weight. Please give me the fucking weight.
It's an exhibition. There is no weight.
There'll be no guidelines.
There'll be agreed weight.
A range?
Yeah, there'll be agreed weight in the contract. It has to be.
For Jake to come down.
Correct.
What will it be?
It'll probably be 195, maybe 200.
Still.
Bro,
Still.
how is that possible?
I mean, bro, I did it with Floyd. You guys don't understand. Exhibitions are a real thing now. As long as people are watching, that's the metric.
Yes.
You know how
can
tall?
figure
You know how tall Gervonta is?
I think he's like 5'5".
Not even.
He's probably 5'4".
Bro, okay, but look, you want to know what's going to happen in that fight? Because I'll tell you too.
Tell us.
Because I did the same thing. I fought a really crafty, much smaller fighter. His name was Floyd Mayweather.
He's a young Floyd. Protege of Floyd.
In the prime, in his prime.
Yes.
Well, close to, right?
No, Gervonta's, I think he's still in his prime.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would, bro.
This is a different fight than you and Floyd.
This is very
By a
dangerous.
landslide.
By a landslide. This is a dangerous one for Jake.
He needs to do it, though.
This is a dangerous fight for Jake. The kid has got...
Some analysts are raising eyebrows about the weight considerations for the Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul showdown. While Davis typically fights at 135 lbs and walks around significantly lighter, several commentators speculate he could step on the scale closer to 160 pounds for this clash. This projected 25-pound increase above his usual fighting weight would narrow the size gap and could even enhance his power-to-weight ratio, making the fight considerably riskier for Jake Paul.
Concerned about with Gervonta Davis, as we know, big exhibition coming up November 14th. We are going to do a live stream watch party for that. I don't know in what way, but we got to make it special. You guys know when I do these watch parties, they are insane. We want to have some guests. We may do a 24-hour. I'm not sure. Leave in the comments what you want to see, but we may be seeing the formulation of a game plan and tactics from this training footage from Gervonta Davis. And I think I may understand the key of what they want to do, how they want to go about it, and why Jake Paul might be in more trouble than I originally thought. What do I mean? The breakdown. Let's go.
He is the star of Wade Concept.
All right, so Calvin Ford, coach for Gervonta Davis, has been for pretty much since Gervonta started boxing. Sat down with Marcos over at Fight Hub. Shout out to Marcos for the footage, man. He's always killing the game with interviews and everything else. He sat down with Marcos, and they talked about Tank and potentially what he will do after the Jake fight, why he's doing the Jake fight, and what their biggest concerns are, which your biggest concerns end up being what you turn into your biggest weapons. The things you're most concerned about, you look to exploit because that's usually the other person's greatest strength, and behind it's their greatest weakness. So I'm going to take a look at this interview and show you guys why I think Jake might actually be in a little more trouble than I originally thought with this fight, and why I'm going to be more excited to see what Tank brings if the mindset is where I think it is.
So how are we with everything, man? How's Tank been?
In a good headspace. Great head.
Shobies the adult clarified that Tank is not the lightweight figure many imagine. In reality, he's compact, muscular, and built for power. This explains how he generates such explosive force despite being shorter than most of his opponents. Shobies also pointed out that Davis's natural strength gives him a physical advantage even against men who seem bigger on paper. His conditioning, balance, and control of distance allow him to deliver knockout punches with frightening precision. That's why calling him small is misleading. Tank may fight in lower divisions, but he carries the build and power of a much larger athlete.
Yield that type of weight. He's a bowling ball. He ain't a little guy like you guys say. The Takey Wakey say he's a little guy. but I got more receipts. Do you guys remember what, 2 years ago against Mario Barrios to make 140? He was coming down in weight.
144.1.
Weighing in at 144 plus. Huh? I even got more receipts for you guys. Remember against Ryan Garcia, right? You saw him stacking on snacky cakes and all kind of Skittles and shit, you know, for the All Access with him versus Ryan Garcia. I think this was like episode 2 or something. It was hilarious. But he goes in the store and they have to weigh him. And in that store, he weighs 150 pounds.
Good, thank you.
How much I weigh?
154.
154?
Yes, sir.
All right, weigh me one more time.
All right, 150.
150? What is on? All right, bet.
And then the most famous audio leak that the War Room made famous, that we sent out and it went viral, when Team Tank said that Gervonta Tank Davis walks around at 160 pounds.
He ain't gonna never want to fight at 135 again. He will, but I'm saying that's such a big company, man. This is walk around with him. No, walk around? Like just, you know what I mean? 160? Well, he get up big, but like.
British boxer Dave Allen offered a more balanced take on the matchup. He admitted he never liked Jake Paul's previous fights against Mike Tyson or Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., seeing them as publicity stunts. However, he believes the Davis fight could be different. Allen says that as long as no one gets seriously hurt, the exhibition is fine because it entertains fans. He acknowledges that while Jake may not be a world-class boxer, his fights generate discussion that benefits the sport. Fans, Allen adds, are curious to see how far Jake can go and how Tank handles
thing with Jake Paul, I think he's a good area title level fighter, and that's a good level, like, and you can be proud of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good, but the Mike Tyson fight I didn't like. The Chavez fight was just farcical because he's 10-11 years past his best, up 6 weight divisions, but less of a problem because Chavez wasn't in his 50s. Fighting the MMA guys, again, he's fighting people that don't do the same, that they're not even in the same sport. But while they're a bit older, they're still not in the 50s. So all that stuff, I won't really watch any of it. I think I've watched one fight against Tommy Fury, the only professional boxer in and around his prime years, and he got beat. But I think his area title level, I think he works really hard, I think he trains hard, and I don't think he's a bad fighter at all. I don't think he's a good fighter, but he's not a bad fighter. For his experience, he's not bad at all. But Gervonta Davis is a lightweight. So, by all means, if they make a few quid and nobody gets hurt, then great. But I certainly wouldn't be paying a penny to watch it. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, farcical. Who wants to watch an exhibition? Gervonta Davis is in his prime years. Why is he wasting his time? Why is he not having a rematch with the fella he got a draw with? Why is he not fighting? Why is he not going up a weight and fighting Lopez and Garcias and them fighters? Why is he...
Claressa Shields has raised strong concerns about Gervonta Davis's next career move, especially with his high-profile matchup against Jake Paul approaching. She questions his decision to hint at retirement so soon, arguing that if he truly sees himself among boxing's elite, he should be facing top contenders like Shakur Stevenson or Teofimo Lopez instead. Shields and other analysts believe that by sidestepping these marquee fights, Davis risks being perceived as avoiding real competition in favor of lucrative crossover bouts. On the other hand, some observers point out that Davis has been coping with significant mental and emotional strain in recent years, factors that may be influencing his decision-making more than the public realizes.
Gervonta got skills out this world. He's a scary dude. He's scary. Ain't no way he said he's supposed to come back and get Shakur, Devin, Ryan, Teofimo, whoop all these ass. He like, I'm about to retire after I fight Jake. No, I don't let nobody talk about me like that. The way that Shakur disrespect him, the way that Devin talked to him, the way that Ryan, he already knocked out Ryan. The way that these dudes be talking, he supposed to come back and get them. He the man, right? He who everybody say is the best. I ain't leaving no food on the table. When I'm done boxing, I'm whooping all these girls. They all getting beat. You said you can beat me? Oh, okay, I'm gonna figure out where to get you.
6. Veteran trainer Robert Garcia offered a nuanced perspective on the Davis-Paul bout, suggesting that while there's nothing inherently wrong with Davis taking the fight, the timing raises questions. Garcia notes that fighters who achieve legendary status usually pursue career-defining matchups after fully establishing their legacies. In Davis's case, major fights against champions like Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney are still unresolved. From Garcia's point of view, the Paul bout seems like a flashy detour rather than a step toward greatness. By prioritizing spectacle over substance, Garcia warns, Davis risks diminishing his standing among boxing purists, making it appear as if he's skipping a chapter in his legacy rather than building one.
Like that, but I don't know. What's your just take on the whole thing?
I'm not very interested. That doesn't excite me. I know it's going to do really good numbers. I know they're making a lot of money, which is good for them, good for Tank, because in boxing, that's what everybody looks for. I think is, the good thing is they announced it as an exhibition, which is, I'm okay with it. Everybody does it. Mayweather has done it. Ali did it. The only thing, my personal opinion is Tank, they all did it when they had already accomplished so much. They already did so much. Mayweather did everything in boxing and accomplished everything. Muhammad Ali did the same, and many others that have done it. I think Tank never gave us the fights that we really wanted. Never really gave us those challenges. He never really challenged himself. He didn't give Rhodes that rematch, which he should have. Mayweather did it when he had a hard time with Maidana and Castillo. Right away, he did the rematches to prove everybody wrong, and look at what he did. He beat him clearly. So Tank should have done the same. He didn't. That I could criticize, but then at the end also, if you're making 30 to 50 million, I don't even know what he's making to fight, to have an exhibition against just Jake Paul, I would have asked, I would do the same.
No one would say no to that. Right?
If I had one of my fighters get an offer to fight a big celebrity, a big YouTuber for $20-30 million, I would probably do the same. So I don't blame him. It's boxing. At the end of his career, 20 years from now, nobody's gonna care how many belts you.
Meanwhile, Charleston White dismisses Jake Paul's career as little more than entertainment disguised as boxing. He argues that none of Jake's fights have had the authenticity of true professional bouts, calling them carefully staged exhibitions designed for views and profits. According to White, Jake has yet to face a genuine top-tier boxer who could truly test his endurance and skill. His comments echo the frustration of boxing purists who believe Jake is exploiting the sport for fame rather than respecting it as a craft. White insists that if Jake ever faces a fighter like Gervonta Davis, the difference in skill, discipline, and experience will become painfully clear. In his words, Jake's popularity can't hide one truth. Exhibitions don't build legends, real fights do.
And Charleston White gave his review and what he thought about the Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul fight. And what he said was, look, man, do not pick against Jake Paul because he didn't believe that any of the fights that Jake Paul have had to date really have been a real thing. And that the boxing world is looking for that great WHITE hype. And Jake Paul is going to be that guy, even though he really can't do it in a real boxing match. So he was basically reflecting and saying that the saying where they say, believe a half of what you hear, half of what you see and none of what you hear. He adjusted it to say, don't believe anything you hear and anything you say, anything that you hear and anything that you see. And honestly, man, when it comes to internet boxing, YouTube boxing, and what people say is going on in the media, without a doubt, I think Charleston White is 100% right about that. Don't believe anything you hear. Don't believe anything you see. Wait to see how things play out, and ultimately everything will come out in the wash. Well, going into this fight with Gervonta Davis, I had my concerns about the fight because of the same type of reasoning that Charleston White used, except for mine is slightly different. I don't think that either one of these guys are going to try to do too much damage to each other. Number one, because if it's scripted, which more than likely to an extent it will be, Gervonta Davis is not going to put himself in a situation where Jake Paul is going to actually